देंगे हम दुनिया हिला दे हम दुनिया हिला देंगे हम दुनिया हिला दे हम.
Hello guys, welcome back to Cricket with Devi, and today we are back with another video on the IPL 2022 preview segment of the different teams. I am joined with Abhinav Bhaiya today to talk about the Mumbai Indians. He is a fan of that team and he's also a cricket enthusiast in general, a sports enthusiast. And I am joined with him today to talk about Mumbai Indians. We'll talk about Mumbai Indians later, but first of all, thanks a lot for joining me today, Abhinav Bhaiya. How are you?
Uh, pleasure being here, Arnav. It really is an honor. I think, firstly, congratulations to you. I mean, you're already a YouTuber at the age of 12. I mean, that's something not a lot of people do at this young an age, and the fact that you've already taken baby steps towards moving in towards having your own YouTube channel and all at this age. I mean, I genuinely have to commend you for that. It really is a superb hobby for you. So and you're doing quite you're doing a quite good job of it. So yeah, I mean, congratulations for that. And yeah, pleasure being here.
Same here, sir. Thank you. So, moving forward, Mumbai at the auction, at times it felt as if they were just not interested at times. It was like they were sleeping or what, because sometimes, specifically on the first day, it was looking like what are they doing with the whole purse? They're just doing nothing. It came to Ishan Kishan, and at that point it looked like they're going to spend all their money on him. It was seriously looking as if that. And on specifically the second day, we saw how they were just like again preserving the money for Jofra Archer, and at the start of the second day when they had the largest purse at that time, they weren't using it. So, what are your takes on Mumbai's auction first of all?
Look, I think, like you said on day one, I think I was also a little perplexed. I thought on day one their own main mission was to get Ishan Kishan back at whatever cost that they had to pay. I mean, and that is very clear, and there's nothing wrong with it, because I think there is a premium attached to having an Indian wicketkeeper, having a top quality Indian wicketkeeper batsman who can bat in the top four, anywhere in the top four, and that is a huge rare. That's the bear market. There's not a lot of options over there. So Mumbai wanted to get Ishan Kishan back, and yeah, I mean, they were ready to blow whatever amount of money they were ready to. And yeah, 15.25 crore. I mean, it's not a bad. I mean, it is a high purse. It's a very very high purse, but I mean, uh, you have to pay a premium for players in that category. And I think on day two, like I think even Zahir Khan and Mala Javardane had said on their after the auction in the MI in the post auction of Mumbai Indians MI Live. I think they said that they had recalibrated their strategy at the end of day one to figure out what they can do on day two, because I think they let go of a few pacers. I mean, they let go of Avesh Khan, Kartik Tyagi in the Indian market, as well as Bhuvneshwar Kumar. I don't think they were really interested in making. I think they were really gunning hard for Avesh, for Kartik Tyagi. I think even for Yuzvendra Chahal, Rahul Chahar, they tried to make a play for them, and also I think for both Mark Wood and Josh Hazelwood. They really wanted that those 5-6 players, but I think they were just playing bogey bids. They were doing a bit of bogey bidding on that. But that was all right. And second day, I was tweeting at that time. I mean, I was a little perplexed by what they were trying to do on day two. I mean, especially they let go of Navdeep Saini and all, and they got Jaydev Unadkat of all people. But I think uh, they made it up more than handily with the purchase of Jofra Archer, Tim David, and Tamal Mills right at the end. I think those were very, very solid purchases. And as a fan, I mean, it's given me hope at least for the seasons to come ahead.
Yep. And on that, we saw like how Mumbai had a pretty good bowling lineup last year. Specifically, the spin department was though a bit weak. And that was the issue I thought they would address this auction, but they couldn't buy that quality of spinners this time yet again. Perhaps they had better spinners last year. rather than the ones they have this year too.
True.
So about that, what do you think? Because Mumbai would, they tried hard for UV, they tried hard for Rahul Kher, but at the end of the day, they couldn't get any one of them, and they settled with Fabian Allen, and so yeah, Mumbai didn't go very well with the sprint department, and also they don't have a gun pacer in a way who is experienced and also is doing good performances at the moment to uh, to be with Bumrah. So like they are over dependent on Bumrah as of now. Like 2023 is a different thing when Archer would be available. But in 2022, do you think that would be a major layoff for Mumbai, their bowling attack except Bumrah?
Uh, Look, I think on the pace attack, it's not a bad option. I mean, they've got a, they. I mean, I think they address the absence of Jofra Archer by specifically bringing Timol Mills, and that is a very, very. I mean, at 1.5 crore for somebody who's returned back into England's T20 side and is quite is favored by a lot of franchise league tournaments like the BBL and the PSL, and he obviously knows Mahela Javardhane. They worked in the 100 for the Southern Braves, and I think the Southern Braves, in fact, won the title. So they know Mahela knows how to work with Mills, and it's a very and he brings in a very very different dimension to what they had with Trent Bolt, or even before that with a Mitch McClenaghan or Mitchell Johnson. He is a death over specialist who's as adept at bowling 140 plus as bowling those in middle pitch cutters and slower balls, and also it's a very interesting dynamic they've gone in for. So I think the absence of Jofra Archer this year has been addressed by the fact that they got in a Timol Mills. But yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you on the spin department. I think it is lacking in numbers, but I think it's also to do with the fact that Mumbai generally have. I mean, traditionally, I don't think the Wankhede has really played wonderfully well for spinners. So I think they wanted spinners who, I mean, placeholders. I mean, and but Murugan Ashwin and this
Fabian Allen.
Mayank Markande are not Mayank Markande and Fabian Allen are not that bad in that department. And I think it's I mean they need it's for them. I think the need with spinners was that to ensure that they can get 4 overs out of somewhere. I mean, because they are because Mumbai has always been known for building up with a pace attack. So I think they were always looking to do that. But and plus, I think the loss of Hardik and Krunal, I think they had to. I mean, the fact that they didn't have either of them, so it meant they had to really rework their strategy around a lot with and change their dynamic of in fact having instead of going for an overseas keeper, going for an Indian keeper at the top of the order, having more or less an Indian top four, and then having finishers being slotted in at 5-6 alongside Karen Pollard in that 6-7 role. So I think they had to really rework a lot of their strategy with the departures of the Pandya brothers.
Yeah, I absolutely agree because when you look at their team, there's Kyron Pollard at six and then Tim David at five. When you look at the top six, it's like one of the most power packed ones. So that's a really good thing for MI that they have quite a solid finishing lineup yet again. They had Hardik and Pollard last year and like before, and now with Hardik going, they have got Tim David, who is more than capable to like do wonders. We have seen how he's been in great form recently in the PSL, in
True.
the BBL, in all the recent leagues he has played in. So I agree on that, and I feel Mumbai have got quite a solid batting lineup. But with the bowling, I feel yes, they would struggle a bit. Coming on to some threats they might have. Uh, for this season, what do you think would be their threats? Because first of all, Daniel Sam. First of all, talking about the players who might miss a game for them at the start of the season, they are not missing a lot of players. But again, Daniel Sams might be the one who
No,
miss.
I think no. I think Daniel Sams has already arrived because he's not been picked by Australia for
Okay, yes, yes,
limited
yes,
overs for
yes.
Pakistan. So they're not missing, unlike a lot of the other
So yeah,
nine teams
Mumbai
who
are
are
not
going
gonna
to be
miss any of the players.
they're not missing any of their overseas players. I think what they will be missing, I think there are reports that Surya Kumar Yadav might miss the
Yeah,
opening game because of that hairline fracture.
yeah.
So I think they'll have to rework their batting order. I think that opens up the slot for somebody like for them to
Devil
either
Brevis maybe.
look at Devol Brewis at three, or they might look at an Anmol Preet Singh or somebody. I mean, they might look at one of those unknown faces that they've got, like a Ramandeep Singh, Anmol Preet, and all those guys. I think they might be looking at that to temporarily fill that Surya Kumar Yadav void at three for the first game at least. The smart money, I think, will be on Devol Brewis for me, because and then they can, because they one of the smart purchases I think they made in the domestic market was to buy Sanjay Yadav, the
Yeah, along with
450 lakh.
Mohammad Arshad Khan, I saw some of his videos. He's somebody
Yes,
like an all-rounder who is like a hard-hitting one, and also he has good pace to bowl with.
yes, exactly. And he's a left arm pacer, I think. And knowing Mumbai's history, it is completely not out of the realms of surprise that they might in fact throw in somebody like an Arshad Khan or somebody like, or one of those sort of players, or maybe a Ritik Shokeen in their 11. I think against Delhi they might look to and another very good purchase I think for me was Tilak Verma. I mean, they spent a bit of money for him, but at 1.7 crore, it is a little bit more money that they would have bargained for. But I think it is clearly an investment on the future, and his numbers are certainly very good. He had a very good Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy for Hyderabad, and scoring at over 140, strike rate of over 140, and is pretty decent with his off spin. So I
Yeah,
think that gives them a bit of bowling cover. So I think uh, it is a team what they've done is they've built a team for the future. But I think their middle order, I think especially apart from Rohit Sharma and Surya Kumar Yadav, that top four looks a little inexperienced, and if a couple of wickets go down, they might be in a bit of trouble.
yep, I agree. And also on the part that Tilak Verma being at three, he's sort of new to, he's not played an IPL game yet. So looking at that, honestly speaking, I feel it was a quite a good buy, because when you look at the fact that in the Ranji Trophy, I clearly remember one of the knocks he played. I was watching it, and he just scored at quite a rapid pace. Then I don't exactly remember the score. It was something around 60, 70 odd. He
Yes,
played quite well there. He played, I don't
yes,
remember exactly.
His Ranji Trophy form was
Yeah.
pretty encouraging this year for Hyderabad. I mean, the three games that Hyderabad did play, he scored. He I think got runs in all of them,
Yeah,
and
he
he looked
190, which he
very.
scored, was in quite a tough
Yeah,
position when no one was around him.
absolutely. He looks a good. He definitely looks a prospect. I think he's also played for India in the Under 19 World Cup back in the Karthik. He was in the Karthik Tyagi Yashasvi Jaiswal
2021.
squad, the 2002.
2020.
Yeah, the 2020
Yeah,
squad. He was a part of that, and he was, I think, opening on number three in that side. So I think it is an investment into the future. I think they're banking a lot for the future as well. I think the purchase of Tilak Verma and Devol Brewis, I think, are an explicit signal of that.
absolutely. So on that, finishing up this episode, sir, and Abhinav Bhaiya, what do you think would be MI's ideal 11? First of all, when there is Surya Kumar Yadav available, and how do you think they'll reshuffle their batting order when he isn't for the first match, most probably?
I think for the first game, I think their opening combination is settled. Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan will open. I think at three they might look at Duval Brewis, at least for the first game.
Hmm.
Four they might look at Tilak Verma. At 5, 6 they'll have Kyron Pollard, Team David Kyron
Team
Pollard.
David side.
At 7, I think they will go for probably Sanjay Yadav or Arshad Khan. And then Murugan Ashwin, Jasprit Bumrah, Jaydev Unadkat, Timol Mills. And once Surya Kumar Yadav comes in, then Surya Yadav Sky comes in at alternates
I guess you
depending
have picked
switch.
just 3 overseas. So if you want, you can have
No, 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 no. I think I have
you,
picked
you took Tim David, Kyron Pollard, and Devil
Dim
Davis and
Dual Brewers
Jamal Mills. Yeah.
and Kamal Mills. So it is the four overseas players, at least for the first game. And I think once Suryakumar Yadav recovers, they will look to play with. I think it purely depends on what matchup between the two flip between Suryakumar Yadav and Tilak Verma in terms of batting position. So if Ishan Kishan goes down, then goes out first, then it'll be Tilak Verma who will come in at 3, because Mumbai has a propensity to constantly use that left hand right hand matchup against bowling attacks. So I think
Yeah.
that 3-4 will constantly switch between those two. 5-6, I think it'll remain with Tim David, Karen Pollard, and one with Suryakumar Yadav there. I think it'll number 7. It'll revolve between either Fabian Allen or Daniel Sams, and then one of the two leggies, be it Murugan Ashwin or uh,
Mayank
Mayank
Markande.
Markande, and then the 3 pacers in Unadkat, Bumrah, and Timol Mills.
Okay.
Or if they are really being a little funky, then they might not even look to play both, uh, either one of this guy, these two, either Sams or Fabian Allen, put in a Sanjay Yadav at 7, and then have a second overseas specialist pacer in Riley Meredith coming
Yeah.
in to pair, replacing Jaydev Unadkat, because they already have a left arm pacer who can bowl, who in Timol Mills. So they have that option as well. So I think that would be. I think they will. I think 2022 mightn't really not be the season Mumbai are targeting for the title. I think they might look at a top 4 finish. They will try to go in for a top 4 finish, but it is not inconceivable to think that they might not even qualify for the playoffs, because it has been a usual history that Mumbai in the IPL edition following a mega auction don't exactly look comfortable.
Yeah.
They require a bit of time to settle down. And I think it's clearly what they've done with the auction is that they've punted on the for the future for 2023 and beyond, by to win win the IPL in the future editions by making the play that they've done, especially with the Jofra Archer bid.
Yeah, agree. And on that, I feel Jofra Archer, but it's also to see whether he'll be as lethal as he was before. That's also
Exactly. I
a point to
think
look at.
you're right. I think it's been a debilitating elbow injury. It changes a lot of things for players. I mean, especially for a fast bowler, an elbow injury it's quite a damaging injury for, especially for fast bowlers. So I think it'll be interesting to see how Jofra manages to return. But if he is even 90% of what he was bowling, of the effectiveness that he had before his injury, I think 2023 onwards, opposition bowling lineups will have a serious. I mean, those 8 overs, it will immediately be written off. I think it'll become a 12-over game for the opposition to try and score whatever amount of runs that they can,
Yeah,
because they will not really because with Archer and Bumrah together, it really locks up those final 4 overs, and even in the power play, you will not be able to really get much out of, especially from Archer, because he bowls with the pace that he bowls and the length he bowls. Even in the power play, it is very hard for a opposition batsman to be able to play him comfortably.
absolutely. So, yeah, thanks for joining me today, Abhinav Bhaiya.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Same here. So, yep, that's it for today's video. Do like the video if you enjoyed. Please share and subscribe. Till then, we'll meet you all in the next one. Goodbye. Peace.